All right, we are back again, back with IET with Mike C. I know it might be a little bit confusing because the hat is MIH, and MIH stands for Make It Happen. I have a podcast which is titled Make It Happen with Mike C. And as I stated before, that podcast was designed to help anybody who wanted to be successful in the music business. And as I stated yesterday, I'm not going to get rid of MIH. Even though the music business itself has changed, it's still, there are still people who need help. And what about you? Can you admit that you need help in some areas? We're going to talk a little bit about that today, right here on IET with Mike C. So don't go anywhere. Matter of fact, I got something for you to listen to until I come back. This is my boy Yarley Griffin Jr. Check him out. Are you like me? Have you noticed what I've been doing? I wear glasses, but I am nearsighted. And that can be confusing itself. When say you're nearsighted, farsighted. Nearsighted means I can't see far away. These glasses here are for that. But my vision is good up close. So when I'm up close, I have to do that. I have to take them off. Unless I have, it's not called transitional. Transitional just means that the glasses are going to tint in the sun. What I actually wear, these are my spare glasses. My other ones broke. Those are trifocals. And what trifocals do is that up here, up at the top of the glasses, is where my vision really is impaired. So that's where my prescription takes effect, and it gets weaker as it goes down. So when it gets down to the bottom of the glasses, they're actually down to the bottom of the glasses, there's no prescription at all. Because if I'm going to be reading, what am I going to do? I have my glasses on, and I'll be looking down like that as I read. So I'll be looking down the bottom of the glasses. But when I'm looking ahead, like I'm on the freeway driving or something, I'm looking at signs, I'm looking up at the top end of the glasses. So just thought I'd share that with you. Also, what I wanted to share with you is a quote that I have read this quote before, and I came across it actually this morning, and I thought I would share it with you based on what we're dealing with this COVID-19 thing again. You know, we cannot not talk about COVID-19. We just can't do it. There, to date, within the last hour, over 300,000 people have died from COVID-19. In this country alone, 92,000 people in America have died of COVID-19. And we still have people who are threatening government officials who are trying to save lives by saying that we have to stay home. Now, at this point, every state in the union, every state in America has opened up to some degree, to some extent. And I was talking to a friend of mine not too long ago. I live in the state of Texas. Texans would say the great state of Texas. And I live in the Dallas area, and I like it. I like it a lot. Texas opened up a couple of weeks ago, and will be totally open by the end of this month. That's all right. I'm still gonna stay home. But let me read this quote to you before I get going on a tangent. I can do that. I know. I'm a preacher, y'all. And Martin Luther King said this: an individual has not started to live, has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to broader concerns of all humanity. I'll read that again. An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. In essence, what's that saying? One for all and all for one. That's what that's saying. What's that saying? It's similar to what I said to a friend of mine the other day who had said that his liberties were being infringed upon by this stay at home order. Um, what it's saying is that we have to look out for one another. If you're hungry, if my neighbor is hungry, if my neighbor has lost his or her job and not working because of this thing, I'm gonna help them out. I'm going to provide them with food. I'm gonna do that because they're my neighbor. Um, so what I'm hoping that you will do as my fellow American citizen, just as my fellow man, my fellow woman, I'm hoping that you will respect the stay-at-home order, even though the states are opened. Okay, I saw something on TV the other day: 3,000 people in a confined area. 3,000, and of course they were all predominantly young folks. 3,000. Now, you might say that they're not disrespecting my freedoms or my rights because they're not near me, and I can just stay away from that group. But what if one of those kids is my child, my niece or nephew, and I've lost my niece or nephew? Yeah, they chose to go there. I understand that, but we just got to look out for one another. Martin Luther King was right, and he proved that with his life. He gave his life for you and I. How many people would do that? Not a lot. I don't expect people to do that, to be Martin Luther King Jr., but I do expect people to just be courteous and kind to one another and respectful of one another. Just do that. Um, I'm going to talk a little bit about sports today also. Um, Major League Sports is trying to come back. In Europe, they've already come back. Soccer's already come back. They're already playing soccer in Europe without fans in the stands. And it does make a difference to not have fans there. The game is not quite the same. Um, and auto racing in this country came back this past weekend. They had a race with no fans in the stand. You can do that with auto racing. Uh, I don't know about um, when cars come into the pit stop. I don't know if the individuals there, maybe they can't go without coming within 6 feet of each other, but they can be properly uh, guarded with the garment they wear, with the mask and all of that kind of stuff. Just like the people that do when you drive through and they test you for COVID-19. They are properly attired, so I guess they could do that in the pits too. But I wonder if they can do that in professional baseball, basketball, and football. Because in soccer they didn't do it. Guy made a goal in soccer, and what do? They want to, they want to celebrate. So they're hugging and stuff like that. Um, they are not abiding by the guidelines of staying 6 feet apart. And I think it's unfair to expect them to be able to do that. Somebody hits a home run in baseball, what are they going to do? Somebody scores a winning shot in basketball. Are they going to stay away from each other? I doubt it. Then, what if one player on a basketball team comes down with COVID-19? Now they have to quarantine the whole team. What about the game they had coming up? Okay, what if you get two teams that have players that get it, and now those two teams are quarantined? I don't think that we're ready yet from for professional sports. Again, this is just my opinion. I don't think we're ready yet to come back from this thing and to be able to not pass this virus on. Now, I talked to a few people before I came on the air today, and they said they were going to make comments. I'm not sure if they're not commenting or if there's something that I'm not doing right. As I expressed to you, this is 14 consecutive days of my going live. And the purpose of my going live is to promote my vlog, which will launch on June 1st. The vlog, of course, is IET with Mike C. And if you're new, if you haven't come on before, what IET stands for is information, entertainment, and truth. I will be sharing information. Of course, COVID-19, we'll talk about that. We'll talk a little bit about young brother Ahmad, who was unjustly, in my opinion, killed. And the truth aspect of it is something that I had wrestled with. Um, I initially I said I was just going to come with truth in whatever we talked about. That was one thing that used to be paramount with journalists back in the day. That was what they called journalistic integrity. Was their stories were all true. Well, I was doing that because I was interested in the numbers. You know, YouTube, when you get on YouTube, the goal in YouTube is 100,000 subscribers. If you have 100,000 subscribers, you're probably making pretty good money on YouTube. But then I talked to a few friends, and actually I listened to the sermon at church. My church, I saw a sign the other day. I have a P.O. box, and I'm on my way to the P.O. box, and I generally go when there's really, when it's late, when there's nobody around. I don't have to worry about bumping into people. But on my way, I saw a sign at a church down the street that said, "We're back. They're going to start having service this coming Sunday." If I was a member of that church, I wouldn't be going there. Now, my church is still not doing so. We're still having church online. It's still being streamed. In the process of my watching the service, it really, and that's how God speaks to me sometimes, in different ways. Sometimes God will speak to me through people, through actions, through things happening. Well, the other day, he spoke to me through my pastor and some things that he had said. And he spoke to me about this vlog. And I shared some of that with you yesterday. Um, my truth is the word of God, as I stated yesterday. And that's what I'm going to share. And like I said, I'm not going to beat you down with the Bible. Um, but hopefully, you will know that I'm a Christian by the things that I do, the things that I say, by my character, the morality that I exhibit. You'll know that I'm a Christian. You'll know that I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I'm not ashamed of that, never have been. And I'm not going to allow the desire to be successful to outshine my mission and what God is calling me to do. I'm not going to let that happen. Um, and what God is calling me to do is share the gospel, spread the gospel. And I am convinced that He's called me to do that through this format, through social media, through vlogging, through my podcast, through my web page. And that's what I'm going to do. This vlog, one of the things when you sign up for YouTube and you get ready to do a vlog, they ask you questions. And one of the questions that they ask you is, you know, what is your vlog? What's your target audience? Is it an educational vlog? Is it an entertainment vlog? Um, Things like that. And this is not a religious vlog. And I don't remember that actually being one of the choices. But this vlog is something that was not listed on there. This is a service vlog. My goals and objective is to serve you through information, to serve you through entertainment, and to serve you with the truth of God. That's what this is. This is it's not on there. This vlog is all about serving. And when I came to the ministry, that's when I came to the ministry, when I realized what made me happy. And what makes me happy is serving. What made me happy was serving my parents, making them proud of me. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to be the best that I could be at football, because I made people happy. I made people proud. My dad coming out to my games, proudly coming out and inviting people out. Um, my grandparents, my mom and dad. See, I've been blessed. Let me share that with you. I have truly been blessed. As those who know me know, I was born in Mobile, Alabama. Okay, and I was raised by my grandparents, who I grew to call mommy and daddy. So if you hear me referring to my mommy and daddy, that was my grandparents. That's who raised me. But I have a mother and I have a father, and I'm close to both of them. Um, Actually, my brothers and sisters that were raised with my mother, they call her Ma, so that's how I refer to my mother as Ma. Um, my father, I refer to as my dad, very close to them. And I'm going to tell you how God blessed me. When I was living in Mobile, I had a lot of cousins. Some of my best friends were my cousins. And then I have my brothers James and David and my sister Vera. Now they are younger than me. The closest to me in age coming up was Vera. Vera's 5 years my junior. Then you have James 6 years and David 7 years. So when we moved to California, no cousins, no cousins. Um, but all of my friends were from large families. Like one of my best friends, especially my first best friends, lived right across the street from me. He was from a family of what was it? It was 7 or 9. I believe it was 7. Matter of fact, they had a family band. So on rainy days, that's what they would do. On rainy days, man, I couldn't play cards with Vera, James, and David. They were too young. So my friends became like my brothers and my sisters, and they still are to this day. Um, so I remember being here in California and praying for family because I missed my cousins. Well, I can tell you that most of the things that I have prayed for in life, I've received, and that's one of them. My dad wound up marrying my stepmother. That's probably the only time you'll hear me refer to step. I don't like the term step. Um, she's my mother. My dad's wife was my mother. The blessing was she's from mid-sized to large family, um, and she had sisters, and they have families. So now I have that large family that I prayed for when I was a kid. Um, Not only that, I've got my mother and my brothers and my sister from my mother. Um, I have a large family. The point is, my prayers have been answered. And so I do believe in prayer, and I believe that um, if you pray earnestly, God will answer your prayers. So I'm praying that this COVID-19 gets over with a vaccine relatively soon. So I hope that you're praying for the same thing as well. And I think that our prayers will be answered. I think also this. I believe this also. I believe that we have to be obedient because I believe that God answers. Um, I believe that God answers our prayer when we are obedient. So I believe God blesses us for our obedience. So that's the goal of my life is to be obedient to God. That's what I try to do every day. And that's what this vlog is all about. That's part of my obedience. Um, Serving you. By serving you, I'm serving God. And by doing so, I'm being obedient because God has called me to serve. Matter of fact, Jesus said himself, he came to be, he came to serve and not be served. So being like Christ, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to provide a service. And I hope that it's something that you enjoy and I hope that you can glean from it. So stay with me, be patient with me. I will get better. I will get better. I talked to another friend of mine. I call him G Money. Talked to him earlier today too, and I was gonna say he was criticizing. He wasn't. He was critiquing what I'm doing. So hopefully by June 1st, when the vlog is officially launched, whatever errors and mistakes that you're able to see now, those won't exist because I'm doing this to promote the vlog, but a blessing that's coming to me is it's practice. I'm getting better. I'm doing this every day, and I hope that I'm getting better every day. One thing I shared with G Money was this. He asked about content. The title is Information, Entertainment, and Truth. And what I shared with him that in providing that, some days might be all information. Some days might be all entertainment, and some days might be all truth. And some days will be a variation of all three. Some days might be two of the three. Some days might be all three, where I do all three. So look for that. But I will stay within the confines of information, entertainment, and technology. Like I said yesterday, though, man, the comics are flaky. I'm looking for y'all, man. Where you at? We didn't talk. Y'all said y'all wanted to do this, so let's do it. Um, my boy Dave Tolliver from Men at Large, he has a vlog. I checked it out last night. You're doing some good stuff, Dave. Keep doing what you're doing. Dave is going to come on. Now, I'm not sure at this point if he'll come on during the live portion or if he'll come on for the launch. But that boy can still sing. That boy can blow. Um, Dave Tolliver. Check him out. And actually, he's on Instagram. So look for Dave Tolliver, Men at Large. It might be Dave Men at Large on Instagram. Check him out. Some good stuff. He's got people coming on and singing on there, and they tearing it up. He had a sister last night who was a writer. I don't remember her name. I'll get that for you though. She's out of Los Angeles, and this is part of the entertainment portion of the show. What she talked about is something that I also see and have seen happening within the music industry, and that is R&B is coming back, y'all. R&B is coming back. Um, what he asked her, what is she looking for when she looks for artists? She's looking for artists who can make you feel what they're singing. I'll give you an example of that. I used to manage a guy some years ago by the name of Phil Beverly, and I can tell you right now that Phil Beverly is the best singer you have never heard. The boy is just bad. Here's how I used to describe Phil when people would ask me about Phil. Phil is smooth like Luther, but strong like Johnny. That was his voice. His voice was smooth like Luther Vandross, but strong like Johnny Gill. That boy could just flat out sing. Um, Phil, man, if you come across this, if you hear this, and hit me, hit me. But Phil used to just blow. Oh, let me tell you about somebody else too. Yarley Griffin Jr. right there in Sacramento. Yarley Griffin Jr. Tell you a little story about Yarley. We were in Las Vegas at the GMWA, which is the Gospel Music Workshop of America. And one thing I learned doing shows is that you never want to have an R&B act, group, singer, whatever, follow a rap or hip hop artist, because with the hip hop, they get the crowd so hyped up, and then you have somebody coming and singing R&B, and it's gonna be smooth. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna be good. So we were at this event at the GMWA in Las Vegas, and Yarley was going to be singing, and he was coming on after a choir, and it was a young choir out of Oakland. They came with straight hype. I mean, but they turned the place out, man. People were just up. The whole house was up, and Yarley was going to be coming with a song that was a slow song. And I'm like, Yard, you might not want to do that one right now, man. You might want to, he said, Mike, trust me. He said, Mike, trust me. He said, just trust me, okay? Yarley came, and it was a slow song. And the quiet was at the quiet. The crowd was at a hush. You could have heard a pin drop. Nobody was singing. And I'm like, man, I told him not to do that. I told him not to do that. When he finished with the song, he got a standing ovation. The house just erupted. People went crazy. Here's the difference. What I was talking about before was secular music. And actually, a friend and I talked about secular versus what he said was spiritual. Here's the difference. What I was talking about was secular when I was working at Arco, and that happened. You had the rap app king, and then the R&B, and they, before she done, they were booing her. They just didn't want to hear it because they were still hyped up from the rap. And now you got somebody singing this slow song. They weren't ready for it. They didn't want to hear it. Here's the difference. Yarley Griffin. Yarley Griffin is a praise and worship. Man, I was going to say guru, but that's not the word. I'll just say he's blessed to do praise and worship. He's blessed to do what he does. So see, when God has blessed you to sing, when God has given you the gift to uplift him, it doesn't matter. The format doesn't matter. man, that wasn't the only time. There was another time where we had been asked to do a men's conference. And look, I said that I'm going to share truth with y'all. Here's another truth. There's a difference between white churches and black churches. That's just a simple fact. So, white churches, um, there's just a difference. So, this men um, conference that Yarley had been asked to speak at, it was I could say it was predominantly white, but you know what? The only black people in there was me and Yarley Griffin, and this was a big crowd, a big audience, um, and we as Americans don't always appreciate each other's cultural differences. So I thought that that was going to be a problem. Man, that brother, because God has blessed him to do what he does, same thing, man. Standing ovation, folks went crazy. So it goes to my point of what I am doing. God has called me to do it. So the numbers, I'm not looking at the numbers. I don't care about numbers. If one person is blessed from what I do, if one person is blessed through what I do, then I have succeeded. So I'm going to do what God has called me to do. I'm going to do this vlog, and I'm going to do it in a manner that God has called me to do it. God knew that I loved Johnny Carson show, that I loved the Today Show, Good Morning America, Tom Joyner Morning Show, Steve Harvey Show. So combining them to do this, and I know that I haven't done a very good job of that yet, but I'm getting better. Um, there's a reason for it, and my reason is to uplift the kingdom of God. So look, I got to take my glasses off to look at the clock. Man, time is just flying. It's already. I said, oh, my boy Dan. Okay, I can get some comments. My Dan, thank you, Dan. My boy Dan says, good job, Mike. Keep up with the good information. Thank you, my brother. And you know what? That's one of the guys I'm talking about right there. When I told y'all that my friends became my family, me and Dan have been friends. We've been friends for about 52 years, but we've been partners for about 48, 49 years. And he truly is like a brother to me. So thanks, partner. My friends are supporting me. Dan, Gene, Glenn, my goddaughter, they're all giving me constructive criticism. Do not be afraid of constructive criticism. I'll tell you how I look at it, okay? My mother, I talked to my mother earlier. My mother says she's been watching. She says she's going to be watching today. Now, what I'm going to be able to do soon is I'll be able to put those comments up on the screen so you can see them. That's one of the things I'm going to be doing is when people comment, I'm going to put the comment up on the screen, and then I will answer the question that they have. But you'll be able to see the question yourself. But what I was sharing there real quick, and I'm gonna make it kind of quick because I got to go, man. I said I was gonna try to keep this to 30 minutes. Um, Dan and I talk about anything and everything. Gene and I talk about anything and everything. My boy Glenn and I talk about anything and everything. Glenn is the one I was talking to earlier who was giving me some constructive criticism. And here's how I look at it, and I shared this with Glenn. I don't take it from anybody. I don't want to hear it from everybody. There are people that I know that love me and care about me and only want what's right for me. You know, Danny, Glenn, Gene, George, them my folks. Of course, my mother and my siblings, but my boys, them my dudes. My sisters, same thing. I'm gonna listen to what they say, okay, because I know that they mean me no ill will. These are people that care about me and care about uh, my betterment, my happiness, all of that. So I'm going to listen at what they have to say. If they want to criticize me, I'm going to listen at it. But if you don't care about me, and I will know whether or not you're somebody who care about me, I don't want to hear it. I'm not going to listen at it. I might listen respectfully, but it's going to go in one ear and out the other ear. That's just how it's going to be. But the people that I know care about me, they can say anything they want to me. They can criticize because I know that they're trying to help me be better. So hopefully I can do that for you. Uh, hopefully I can make you better with this show. I can make you a better person. I can make you a better. There's going to be some things that I'm going to be sharing with you that will help you that are technology oriented, stuff like that too. But you'll be able to find more of that type of stuff on the web page starting June 1st. You'll be able to get stuff on the Judy. Look, my girl Judy, who does my web page, same thing. Judy can criticize me because I know Judy wants to make me better, and she has been magnificent when it comes to web pages, man. I'm telling you. So Judy's going to be working with me to make this web page better, and there will be information that I won't be able to share because of time on the vlog, on the podcast that you will be able to get on the web page. So if you have any comments, if you have criticism, put them in the comments. I can read them at a later time, but I will pay attention to them, and I'll comment back to you as well. Thank you for joining me. Come back and get with us again tomorrow. We're going to be back. Remember, this is 14 days of live with IET and Mike C. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, subscribe. Hit that little bell looking thing because what that'll do is I'll let you know whenever we get ready to go live or whenever we post a vlog. That'll let you know. So you won't have to go looking for us. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and like. All right? Comment, man. Let me hear what you're thinking, what's on your mind. Let me know what you think about this COVID-19. What do you think about the stay at home and shelter? What do you think about people, about the country opening up again? What do you think about professional sports? Should they be playing? Should they not be playing? Everybody has the right to an opinion, okay? So let me know what your opinion is. Thank you for joining us again, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Until then, you know what to do. Make it happen. We out.